You're listening to The Fully Booked Therapist with Heather Hummel. This is the business coaching show for hands-on therapists who are done under-earning and ready to build a practice that pays them more than enough. Real conversations, real results, your real life. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Fully Booked Therapist podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because this episode is one I am genuinely excited for. If you work with infants or you are thinking you want to work with infants or you've ever had a parent come in to you exhausted and desperate after seeing provider after provider with no answers, this episode is hopefully going to be so helpful for you. My guest today is Lori Hendrickson. She's a craniosacral therapist based in Princeton, Minnesota. I also live in Minnesota, so we've just been geeking out about how we live near each other. She's spent over 2 decades specializing in infant care. Since 2001, Lori has been working with babies, navigating plagiocephaly, torticollis, reflux, latch difficulties, tongue and lip ties, and the full range of challenges that can make those early weeks and months so hard for families. What makes Lori's work stand out isn't just the clinical expertise, though she has plenty of it, it's her philosophy. She teaches parents the tools to care for their own babies. She trains chiropractors, IBCLCs, occupational therapists, myofunctional therapists, and other healthcare professionals through workshops across the US, Canada, and beyond. And she approaches every mother and infant as a dyad, which we'll get into later, with unique needs, not a checklist to get through. She's a speaker and a teacher in the ACA Chiropractic Pediatric Diplomat Program. She collaborates with practitioners around the world, and she is heading to Barcelona in the fall of 2026 to keep spreading this work internationally. Lori, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Heather.
Did I miss anything in your introduction? Like, you have quite a list of work.
No, I was feeling, oh, wow. I was feeling tired when you said all that. Like, really? Oh, cool. I am getting somewhere.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's start with your origin story. You've been practicing craniosacral therapy since 1999, and you found your way into working almost exclusively with infants. What drew you there? Was there like some moment in time you can remember that you're like, oh, infants is my jam?
Yeah, I was probably 4.5 years old when I realized that infants were my jam.
That's
And
amazing.
that was my goal in life. I always wanted to be a teacher. And I always wanted to be surrounded by babies. So that's what I did. I went on to have 5 kids of my own. I have 6 grandkids and hoping for more. And my work naturally just evolved into babies and mama care right away,
that.
very early on. Yes.
Okay. It's like always been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain in really plain language for anyone that's not familiar with what craniosacral therapy is? Kind of give us a breakdown on what that means.
Yes. So craniosacral therapy, we could really get technical and sciencey, but I like to explain it like this. Imagine underneath your skin, and then go again underneath your muscle, underneath your bones, floating from head to pelvis, a jellyfish. If you think about that for a moment, that's the craniosacral system. And what it is comprised of scientifically is the falx and the tentorium, the kind of the network of membranes in your head, which come together and form the dural tube that holds your spinal column all the way down to your pelvis. And then if you think about the jellyfish moving in the ocean, you can add the cerebral spinal fluid, which also courses up and down that dural tube and adds the motion, that undulating, pulsing movement that your mind's eye sees the jellyfish doing. We very much have that inside of our bodies. And CST, craniosacral therapy, is all about letting that jellyfish have the optimum amount of movement, freedom, and steady flow of cerebral spinal fluid up through the dural tube and into the cranium and back down, which it does about 11 to 16 times every single minute. It's the way that our organs send messages up to our brain, and then our brain responds in a hormonal way right through that cerebral spinal fluid back down. up and down.
Okay. So it's pretty
Yeah.
important that that system is working.
Yes, I have found that it is very important. And that pulse is separate from your heartbeat. So it's not cardiovascular and it's separate from your breath. So it's not pulmonary in origin either. So it's pretty cool. It's really, I feel, gained a lot of recognition in the last 15 years. And I love that because everything's consumer driven.
Yeah.
And especially mommies now, these modern moms, like these late 20s, 30s moms, they are freaking fierce. They are like a lion heart. They are changing the wellness paradigm in the world, not just the United States.
Yeah. I love that.
Super cool.
I love that so much. Okay, you've mentioned that you've watched the rates of the plagiocephaly. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
You're very
great.
good. Yes.
Torticollis, reflux, and oral ties climb significantly since the 2000s. From where you sit, what do you think is actually driving that rise? What are the issues creating those issues?
Okay, I'm going to set oral ties aside
Okay.
because we could have, honest to God, a whole week, a series of podcasts just on that. But I will answer to the plagiocephaly, the torticollis, the general discomfort that infants are feeling right now.
Yeah.
Well, they have less opportunity to move their bodies freely than they used to. Swaddling is really popular. Babies have a hard time because of that swaddle. They're not expressing their general movements and their primitive reflexes. And when they're not expressing those, they're not integrating those either into intentional movement, which can make for a pretty uncomfortable baby with lots of fascial adhesions. And a baby that's uncomfortable in their body, I don't care what that mommy is eating, really, honestly, they're not going to digest their food gracefully and efficiently. And they're not going to latch very well either. And this is all before we even talk about oral ties. So movement is huge for me. I
Okay.
try to get that message out every time I teach and every time I post on social media because it's not scary and it's
Yeah.
not very hard to do.
That's true. That's true. Do you think it's still like movement then too with the torticollis that's being seen more and more?
Absolutely. Because what happens in my experience, the babies in the families that I see and help, is that the baby will be swaddled and placed on its back in a crib all night long. And that occiput is bearing all of the weight of that occipital lobe of the brain, which is the very heavy lobe in the back of your head, and it flattens it out. That's plagiocephaly. So kind of a flat spot. And what happens oftentimes is one side of the back of the head will be flatter. And then naturally, ergonomically, that baby, when it's on its back falling asleep, its head will just fall over to that flat spot. And when that happens, the muscles in the neck and the pectoral girdle and the shoulder girdle on that side will become very tight with less range of motion, favorable range of motion. And so then you have that head tilt on that baby. And that again adds to limited jaw movement when they're trying to feed, comfort in their body. It makes it very uncomfortable for them to be on their tummy. And we know we want them to be at some point because they're bipeds. We want them to be expressing their asymmetrical reflex on the floor so that they can creep and then roll over and sit up and crawl and pull themselves up and then walk, hopefully in that order. And that's not
Yeah.
what we're seeing today. You put a baby down on their tummy, a typical baby right now that's been swaddled and put in containers, and it's nobody's fault. It's like
Yeah.
nobody's trying to hurt babies. It's just kind of what's popular right now.
Yeah.
And you put them on their tummy and they have a fit. They just turn into a hot mess, mostly because their body's uncomfortable and doesn't know how to receive that prone posture. So many babies, you'll see them on their tummy and they're almost like an airplane. Their arms are back and up and their little legs are up and back. And there they are holding their head up, which is heavy and big now, right?
Yeah.
With their neck muscles and their suboccipital muscles because they don't even realize that they can bring their arms to either side of them to support their torso. They have no idea.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of crabby, uncomfortable babies right now.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I was just trying to think about, so my kids are 21, 19, and 16. And I'm thinking about like, it was a big deal to put your baby on their back. Like you always put your baby to bed on their back. Swaddling was not so much of a thing for me. In fact, like my kids didn't like to be swaddled, but tummy time was very much like push. Like all the mom groups I was in, it was like, make sure you're putting your baby on your tummy. So I'm just trying to think. But my kids did not get the flat head spots because I put them on their tummy so much when we were out and about during the day, maybe, or maybe I just got lucky.
Well, you got lucky, number one,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah.
you weren't swaddling them. So when they were on their back, they could move their body.
Yeah.
He could move his arms and legs and shoulder. He could, when he got just a tiny bit older, even tilt on his side.
Yep.
So he wasn't tied down. Because when you think about a swaddle, if you just think about it for a second, it can be a wonderful tool.
Yeah.
Like it's supper time. It seems like that's the witching hour. You just want to eat that taco and drink that margarita. Yes, put the baby in the swaddle.
Yeah.
And then please, after that, let them freeze so that they can move that body
Yeah.
and express those general movements.
I'm just trying to think of all the people I follow on social media right now. There's like this one woman who does, I think she's like a night nurse or a night nanny or whatever. And it's like all about getting the baby to sleep through the night. So there's like a lot of
Yes.
swaddling. And I'm like, oh, like sleeping through the night must be like the popular thing right now. Like if your baby is sleeping through the night and is sleep trained, like you're winning at
Yeah,
life. So there's
I
like,
think
there's
so.
trade-offs for that. So
Yeah.
interesting. Wonder what it'll be like when I have grandkids, like what the thing will be. My mother-in-law used to always be like, well, we gave our kids like whiskey on their gum lines and orange juice or whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, what?
Yes.
And dare.
No whiskey for the baby.
No whiskey. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about like the problems that we're seeing. What are the solutions that you're offering to these problems for babies?
The solution's actually pretty easy, and that's my main message when I travel around and teach and post on social media. It's let's give them more opportunity to move their bodies. And there are very easy ways that moms and dads can help baby to gain more comfort on their tummy in a prone position. I mean, I show all of that for free. If anybody just looks on my Instagram page, you can hit the highlights section, hit stretches, and there you go. All of these ways just to bring their arms up and give baby that proprioceptive connection between where is my arm in space? Oh,
Yeah.
my arm's here. Oh, my brain sees that. Oh, my goodness. Now my other arm. Oh, oh my gosh. They're both in front of me or kind of to the side. And then I can look up. I can hold my own head up. And then if you look at a baby when they're on their back and they're just not full of power, it's kind of like a turtle on their back. And so they aren't able to maybe get the bubbles in their tummy out as efficiently when they're just stuck on their back. They can't move so that their digestion feels better. They're really limited. And what's fun to see is when you do just a few of these fascia release techniques on baby at home, just all by yourself and just kind of make them more comfortable, and to watch them realize how cool it is on their tummy, like that cool visual perspective too, and then how much control that they have over their own body and movement. It's so fun to see, and it's so easy.
Sounds really rewarding to go from like watching an infant kind of struggling and like really uncomfortable in their body to like being in a power position where they're like just taking in their world and it's just like all the inputs that are coming into them, watching their brain expand from everything that they're learning, just being in that new
Yes.
position and not flailing about, which is
Right.
way better to observe. That's for sure.
It's way better to observe. I mean,
Yeah.
all you have to have is a crabby baby in the house for one day, and you can see how it affects the entire dynamic of the household, all the way down to the cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to keep those cats happy. Let me tell you, I got
Yes,
3 of
we
those.
do. Oh, you have 3. Do you have
Yeah.
the electric kitty litter box thing?
No, but we're probably going to need one.
Well, let me know when you get that. I want to
I
hear
will.
all the
We
stories.
have like a cat tribe They follow us everywhere. My husband and I both work from home. They just follow us all around the house, wherever we go. We used to have a really big dog, and well, we had two big dogs, and now they've passed away, and now we have three cats. So we're just, yes, we're at that stage of life. So
You don't have to take them outside though, so that's a win.
no, but they're trying to run away like as if they're living in a bad house.
They want to be
So
free.
I don't know it.
Free me. They want to be free.
They want to be free. They do. But if they run away here, they're going to get picked up by an eagle or a fox. It's not going to end well for them. So they need to stay in the house.
Circle of life,
The
Heather.
circle of life. Yes. Okay. I digress. So I mentioned that we were going to talk more about the mother and infant dyad. Do you want to kind of tell us what that is? I'm very curious.
I can. So I think the first half of our discussion was all about my part 1. So that's the workshop I've been teaching the longest.
Okay.
And that's all about how to make baby comfortable in her body and get her on the floor expressing her primitive reflexes. And then my students, like my chiropractors and my PTs would be texting me on the side. And they'd be like, okay, the baby's comfortable now. Everybody's happy. But mom and baby are still coming to my office for support. Now what do I do? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do? I had to ask myself because I know I see families, this is what I do, and babies aren't crabby anymore after the first appointment, and I get mom and dad involved in the work. What do I do? I'm like, oh, well, here it is. And I sat down and I wrote a class.
That's
And so
awesome.
now I have a part 2, and it's all about when a mom and a baby come to you for an appointment, they'll probably be on your books for a week, 2 weeks, in my case, maybe even 3 weeks. So it's really hard to guarantee where that baby's going to be when they walk in that door.
Yeah.
So what I found is that most of the time, I don't even care how they show up because if they need to be in mommy's lap all the time or on mommy's chest, big deal. I will still work on mommy with baby in her arms, on her chest. I'll still work with baby in those same positions. So it's all about how we can be not only efficient when we work with mommy and baby dyads, but also how that efficiency can turn around and actually be a deeper way to help them heal from whatever it is. Because even if there isn't a pathology present, there is a journey that these moms and babies have had, this imprinting on their nervous system just from their journey in utero and all of that, and then birth. But then it's still not done because there's then all of the birth experience kind of going through that. And then lately, the feeding has been such a debacle for so many moms and babies that want to breastfeed, and even bottle feeding can be really hard with some of these oral ties, and babies can't organize their suck. But I found that working with mommy and baby at the same time on top of one another is not weird. It's very intuitive and it's easy to do. So that's my part 2 class now. I'm going to teach it for the first time in July. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I love that. One of my coaching clients signed up that's how I heard about you. She was telling me about you, and she was very afraid of babies. She doesn't have kids of her own. And she was mentioning, she's like, oh, I just got my baby in the mail, my practice baby or whatever. I'm going to go take this class. And I was like, that is amazing. Like for her to even get the idea that it would be safe for her to go and work with babies, So like you really provided this opening for her where she went from like 0 to baby, and now she's treating a baby in her clinic and having just a wildly great experience, and she's treating the whole family as well. So I forgot where I was going with that, but all of that to say is I think it's really wonderful that you can inspire someone that's very scared of a baby to go all the way from that to treating babies in her practice and, changing lives, right? Like that baby now gets the experience from birth that they wouldn't have had she not been brave enough to go forth and learn the skills. So I think it's cool that you offer this, and I think it's very much needed. And I think that whole idea of we don't really know like the babies or the mom's experience or why they're where they're at. We don't know what conception was like. We don't know that journey. We don't know what the pregnancy was like. And maybe they're experiencing it as like easy peasy, right? But then you have a traumatic birth, or maybe you have an easy birth, but then there's still problems afterwards. I think just being able to be able to support a mom and a baby wherever they're at, regardless of what's happened or hasn't happened to them, it's just so wonderful. It doesn't hurt anybody and it probably it
Yeah,
helps so much. So
that's definitely been my experience, is
yeah,
that it doesn't hurt anybody at all, no matter
yeah,
what. And
yeah,
in fact, it ends up really being helpful. Their
yeah,
energy is so, even if you're not a person that's used to recognizing energy, it's okay. I mean,
yeah,
energy is anatomically sound concept,
yeah,
but mommy and babies, they just share so much on a cellular level that it
yeah,
just makes sense. And
yeah,
I did it for a long time before I really realized why it made sense. So that's
yeah,
kind of fun when, oh gosh, there's a reason why this makes sense. Ooh, I have to
yeah,
tell everyone,
yeah.
that's how I geek out.
So typically when you're doing your classes, like who are the people that go to your seminars, take your level one training? Are they massage therapists? I know you've mentioned chiropractors. Like who are these people? What are they like? Because those are the people listening here and they might think, oh, I might want to go. This is me. I'm
Right.
going to go take this.
Well, typically it is a professional. It used to be all chiropractors. I taught
Okay.
chiropractors and I offered continuing education units for that. I don't like working with boards, so I don't work with boards anymore.
Mhm.
And
That's
it
totally
has
fine.
done nothing. I know it has done nothing except make me busier. So, yes, it's chiropractors, PTs, OTs, speech pathologists. And when I teach on the East Coast or West Coast, I even get pediatricians and neonatologists, a
Yeah.
lot of pediatric dentists everywhere because of the oral tie stuff. And everyone kind of understands now that body work is pretty integral to positive outcomes with procedures like that. But
Yeah.
I don't say no to anyone. I just make it very clear what the class is going to be about, but that it's also very approachable. And I teach in a very practical fashion, as you can tell by the jellyfish
Yeah.
analogy.
Yeah.
So I do get just regular lay people in there as well, but for the most part, it is a bodywork professional that
Okay.
comes
So people
and
that are
seeks out.
licensed to touch to start out
Yes. Yes.
with. What?
Just because the work really integrates well in craniosacral therapy way back when I was learning it in the 90s was designed to be integrated into all these different modalities of bodywork.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my jam. I love teaching docs and PTs and OTs. How do you sneak this into your magic? Here's what you do. And if you want to do a little bit more, here's how you can weave it right into what you're already doing.
Yeah, very helpful, very helpful. And it's so nice though too when people are just well-rounded and well-versed in, multiple modalities so that they can weave in different aspects of everything that they know into a
Yes.
treatment. What made you like want to work with chiropractors to begin with? What's your licensing background? Are you a chiropractor or
I'm not a chiropractor, but I used chiropractic as my primary care
okay.
practitioner for my kids and just always noticed how much that really helps being structurally well and all about the nervous system. And then the woman that I took my training from early on in the 90s, she was a chiropractor. So I
Okay.
think that's kind of how I got into that. And then I would work out of a lot of chiropractic offices here in River Falls, Wisconsin, St. Paul, St. Cloud. I did a lot of that too. So some of it
Okay.
was just kind of organic, like just
Yeah.
happened organically for me.
Awesome. And then what's your background? Like what were you licensed in modality wise? Are you a massage therapist or
Just
just cranial?
craniosacral therapy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That's so
Yep.
cool.
Straight
That's
up. People don't realize that you can absolutely hang a shingle once you're trained to be a craniosacral therapist
okay.
and make a living doing that, but you certainly can. It's
Okay.
even better though, I would say. But I see less practitioners that actually can make that happen, like boom right away, than someone who already has some kind of certification and then they add the craniosacral therapy to what they're already doing. I was just really lucky to be
Yeah.
put into a clinic that was super busy right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. That's like, my path was massage therapy. And then I specialized in myofascial release. I totally switched. I never gave a Swedish massage again and just did myofascial release until the end, till I
Crazy.
closed my
Yeah.
business. And then for the last like 5 years, it was like my business was very focused on helping people do that with MFR, go from whatever modality you were doing to MFR only. And now I'm back expanded into like all body work again. It's just very interesting. Yeah, like a niche down situation can be difficult, but it doesn't have to
Yes.
be. But yeah, it can be.
Right.
But it's also just such a a need to be able to integrate all of your knowledge because your treatment is going to be different based on all of your knowledge background. Like your
So
treatment is going
true.
to be different than mine, even if we take the same class
Right.
because we're approaching it from our own brains. So, yeah. Okay. Now you're teaching all over the country right now, and then you're going to be going international. What is it like to travel around it? Do you have any favorite locations you go to, or how do people know where you're going to be and when you're going to be there?
Okay. Do I have favorite places? You know what? I never know where the hell I am. Honest to God. Because I just fly in and it can be this beautiful place like you and I were talking about. I'll fly into Zion National Park. But then what do I do? I'm not staying. I'm going right into the workshop and it's all about the people.
Yeah.
So I have favorite groups of people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I can't even make that happen. It's just whoever it just happens to be, the mix of personalities at a certain class will make that class just, to my
Yeah.
heart. Like, I just wish I could teach you all the time, these
Yeah.
same people.
Yeah.
And how do people find out where I am? They look on, honest to God, I don't even have a website. It's all on Instagram. It's just my bio's there, and I don't choose the towns I go to. So
Okay.
this is kind of cool. I didn't realize that like my business paradigm model, whatever you guys call it, is unique, but I like to be invited to places. So we have it set up that everyone who tunes into my social media understands that if they want to invite me to their community, I'd love to come. And so hosts will get a hold of us. And what we normally do, very typical, is teach right in their clinic. If they
Okay.
have a large enough clinic, and it doesn't even have to be that huge, but it can't be like super small. We're realizing now because usually my class size is about 30. I cap
Okay.
it at about 30. But I love just going into somebody's clinic and we move all the adjustment tables or all of the stuff and I teach behind a massage table. It's super interactive, very student led. And that's how I get where I'm going.
Okay.
United States, everywhere, Canada, and then Barcelona in the fall. I'm kind of excited about that. I've never been to Europe ever.
This is amazing. So, are you teaching your level 1 class in Barcelona?
I am 2 classes on a Saturday and a Sunday
Okay.
in a chiropractic clinic. And
Yeah.
then my forever girlfriend we've been friends since our kids were in preschool.
Yeah.
She has grandchildren in Madrid and she goes to Spain a couple times a year for sure. So she's going to be my little tour guide.
That'll be amazing.
We're going together and then we're going to stay. We're going to go to Barcelona. And then so that I can kind of get used to where the time, like 2
Yep.
days before the class, I'll teach the classes and then we're going to go head up. Or is it up? I don't know. My geography
I
is
don't know. I'm
terrible.
the last person to ask that.
So we're heading over to Madrid and spending a week there to see her grandkids and then just whatever, you know?
Yeah. How fun
Because
and
I've never.
exciting. Did you ever imagine when you first started teaching these classes that you would like become an international teacher?
No, not at all. I thought I'd be excited if I got invited to Iowa, which
Yeah.
I did, and I loved it. But then it just, I don't know,
Now it's
became
all over. Are you
yeah.
teaching like every weekend or is it just like a couple times a month?
I'm really careful about how I schedule it. I schedule twice a month and
Okay.
I stagger the weekends because if you think about it, this is brilliant. Because as I've said before, I have 5 kids, 6 grandkids. I have a husband. My mom is still alive. So I'm all these things, right? And I
Yeah.
love all of it. And I want to do all of it. So
Yes.
if you think about it, if I do a weekend, like say at the beginning of the month, and then skip a weekend and then do that third weekend, I really almost have 2 full weeks home. And I love that. I love it so much because then I'm ready to go, stay in a hotel, have the whole bed to myself for a couple nights, meet
Yeah.
new people, eat out, that kind of thing, and then come back and I get to be all my other people that I am.
Yeah. I think that's really a smart business model from a business coach's perspective because it sounds like you're not going to burn out. Like you understand that you have this important role outside of your family and you like allow yourself to do that and you show up so fully for your students, knowing that you get those 2 full weeks when you come home to like be a daughter, be a wife, be a mother, be a grandmother. And that just sounds like so warm and toasty, to be able to
It
like
is
kind of have the
warm. It
best of
actually
both worlds.
is.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I'm seriously, Heather, I'm living the dream right now.
I love
I'm
it.
so happy. Yeah.
I love that. That's what I love to hear. I love to see people that are doing their work, living their mission, but it's not at the cost of themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a high price.
And their other dreams and all of that stuff. So it's so good. Okay. I'm looking at my questions here.
Well, what does CTFAR mean over your shoulder on that
Oh,
board?
yeah. So this is the coaching model that I use when I'm coaching my
Oh,
clients. So C stands for circumstance. Like circumstances are always neutral until you have a thought about them. We have like 50,000 thoughts a day that just like flow through our brains at all times. So when I'm teaching this, we have one circumstance, one thought about the circumstance. The thought usually will always trigger some sort of feeling or emotion in your body. And then from there, you either do something or you avoid something. So, what action do you take or not take? And then it ultimately leads to a result. So, that's what the CTFAR stands for. Yeah.
oh,
So we
okay.
use that to like really get neutral about things. Business is always just a series of decisions that you need to make and drama. So we use this to kind of delete the drama so then we can make decisions based on what we want, based on how the outcome that we want versus what we think is happening to us or like all of
Oh,
the drama.
yes. Oh, I love that so much.
But while also like really feeling the feelings that are coming up and not just discounting the feelings, but like being able to name the feelings and process the emotions, I think is very helpful too. And I always tell my clients, like, the more bursts you get in the experience of your emotions, the easier it is to process and like not make it mean anything bad about you when you get triggered or you are experiencing what we were talking about in the beginning, like the experience of feeling anxiety in your body. Like it doesn't mean you are an anxious person or you are
Right.
anxiety, it's just a vibration in
Yeah.
your body. Yeah.
I love it. I found that very helpful myself, not using that acronym, but instead of saying, I am so mad, I actually say to myself, I am feeling anger,
Yeah.
or I am feeling like I'm overwhelmed, but I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm feeling
Yeah.
that overwhelmed feeling, whatever that is. And just even saying it to myself, like some crazy old lady, because I totally do that. If you walk by me in my
I love
garden,
it.
you'll hear me talking, and I don't even have my AirPods in. It's just
Yeah.
me talking to myself.
Yeah, that's good though, because
It
then
gets
you
it out.
can, yeah, and it kind of like takes away the power of it. Like it could be a very uncomfortable experience, right? When you're experiencing overwhelm, but I think naming it, it's like, okay, yeah, there's
Yeah.
overwhelm is here. How do I want to experience this?
Is that what we say? Is that I can say overwhelm? Overwhelm sounds alone.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Or like you just even being able to point out like this is anger because a lot of time we experience anger, but only because it's so practiced, but actually we're sad and we just don't even know
Right.
it,
Or
you know?
frustrated.
Yeah. And being like, I think I'm angry, but also like actually underneath that is I'm just very, very sad,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I don't know how to express it. Yeah. So I love helping people process their emotions and like show up in a way where they can take what I teach them in their business, but actually apply it to their life, because then they can be there for their kids in a different way or be there for their spouse, or most importantly, be there for themselves and just experience everything differently than if they don't have tools like this.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Aw.
pretty fun stuff. Yeah.
Maybe I need to have my own podcast because I just love hearing about other people.
Yeah. You should become a podcaster. You're really good at social media. I really love your Instagram page. I think it's so fun to just see you working with the babies and like how calm you are and how you are handling everything, while everybody's watching you and the babies are just like having the best time. I just love it.
Oh, it is the best.
So
Honestly,
fun.
but my page is so it's not professional, because I do it all. So I barely know what I'm
Sure.
doing.
But I
When I'm
think that
editing
that's
it,
the best. And like I do my own page as well. And I've like outsourced it before, but it's not me then,
I know
you know?
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't do that. I mean, it'd be fun to do that and not do that part because that's always nagging on me. What do I have to say today? But it's really helped for me to say, oh, I have nothing new to say today. So I say nothing today.
Yeah. Or just say the
Whoa.
same thing over and over again. Like there's no
Or that.
I mean, the thing
Yes.
is like, you don't have to reinvent things to stay relevant. It's like really just driving home the things that people need to hear. Like they need to hear them over and over again. And it's okay. I'm like saying this for you as much as I am for myself because like I was just getting ready to I'm going to be doing like a 5-day training in August. And I was like, going to do it all from scratch. And then I'm like, I found that I did a 5-day training just like 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I would make the 5-day training as. So now
So
I'm
you
just
already
going to,
have it. Yeah,
yeah,
because
I'm
you
just going to
already have
redo
it.
it. I'm just going to put some new finishing touches on it, but I don't need to reinvent the wheel. And
No.
my energy would be spent better doing something else than reinventing the wheel.
Right.
So
It's
that was a
giving
huge
you
relief.
your own advice.
Yeah, exactly. I like to, practice what I preach as much as I can.
It makes you authentic, Heather.
Yeah, exactly. Like your Instagram page is very authentic. And I think professionalism is made up and
Oh.
we get to decide what that means for us.
Oh. I like that thought.
Yeah.
Ah. Professionalism is made up.
I think it is like, and who decides?
That is true. What I have seen is you can have all the letters after your name,
Yeah.
all the money, all the years, and all the letters.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're going to be it
Yeah.
or successful in that particular thing that you're doing or be a good facilitator or a good practitioner at
Yeah.
all.
At
Doesn't
all.
mean anything. I know.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's
I think
really
that's
like,
liberating though.
yeah, I think it's just good to make sure we're always thinking for ourselves and be able to like question what is professional, what is the way to do things, what are our standards, and like adjust them as necessary. I'm constantly like changing and not like in the fact where like I just keep changing my mind, but I may have taught something one way 4 years ago that I don't teach the same way now. And I like to be able to say,
Right.
you know what? I did say that then, and I have a new opinion about it now. And here's what I say.
Yeah. And I have a new thing. Yes.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
love that.
older now. I know more.
I know. It's one of the just nobody told me that that part of aging I would love so much.
Yeah.
There's all the other things in my body that maybe I'm having to come to terms with. But that part, like being credible in a way that I can't learn anywhere. I
Yeah.
had to put in all the work. I had to earn it. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. It's kind of like a little badge of honor, something that you can
Yeah.
look forward to later.
Right. Well, and like, I'm just never going to be done learning. There's not just like one way to do things.
Right.
And I like the freedom to change it or to be like, you know what, I'm gonna pivot on that. We're doing a
Yes.
hard pivot or we're changing on that.
I
So
know. I love it though. It keeps us curious, really.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
it helps us not compromise our integrity, which I think is so important, especially when we're working with other people.
Exactly. I like that you said curious too, because I think that there's a layer of that to you and the work. Like it shows that now I haven't been to your class. I've basically just looked at like watched your videos on Instagram. And there's a layer of curiosity that you bring to when you're talking about the babies, when you're talking to the people in your class, that is very inviting. Like it invites the watcher in to be curious, to also be curious about what it is that you're saying and what it is that you're presenting. And that's nice. Like it's fun to learn from someone else that's also curious, that's not just like, this is how you do it and you will do it this way. And if you do it any different way, you're going to do it wrong,
Yes,
you know?
I know. That's so fear-based to me,
Yeah.
so I just don't like that because I don't like to be fear-based.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just want to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, you're creating a lot of happiness out in the world. These babies are going to be thriving. I think it's so wonderful that all these healthcare practitioners are taking your training. So remind the listeners as we wrap up where they can find you. It's Instagram. What's your Instagram handle? And we'll put it in the show notes too.
Okay, it's Lori Hendrickson, CST. So super easy.
Very
That's it.
complicated. Very
Very,
complicated.
yes,
Yes.
I like to be very complicated. I like to be a mystery. I live in a fishbowl, Heather. You say you haven't been to my class and yet you know me, and that is by design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
So
good. I
that
love that.
everything's on there. Yeah.
It's so good. So check out her Instagram. And then, like she said, she doesn't have a website, but you do kind of have like a sales page, right? Or like a page where people.
It's a bio site. There'll be a clickable link when you go to my bio, and that'll show you everywhere I'm teaching in 2026 and 2027.
Okay.
And then I
Awesome.
have 2 online classes too that I
Okay,
sell.
wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody go and check those out. It's so fun to experience different modalities and to see what other people are up to. And if you've been curious or interested in working with babies, like this is a great way to experience the hands-on. Before we wrap this up, one more question. When a student comes to your classes, it seems to me like the obvious answer is there's babies there, but are there babies there?
There are babies there. Usually we're lucky enough we don't need to bring babies in from the community because babes in arms from our students are welcome. So we usually have those. And then at the very end of class is when it's appropriate. That's when I'll demo. Like we'll do some of the work, but it's usually just me doing it and showing everyone. I don't have like a lab sort of technique, but I'm going to. So part 2 is going to be more students hands-on because it won't be a beginner class.
Yeah.
So, but everybody, all of my students for part 1 bring a large soft-bodied baby doll, and we do a lot of practicing. And I also emphasize how awesome it is to practice on a baby doll, no matter how experienced you are, because it gives you confidence, muscle memory, all of that proprioceptive thought that we talked about before. Oh, when I do this, this happens. So I really stress the importance of practicing on that doll and not practicing on a baby all the time. Like if your own baby, take it home and do the fascia release over and over and over again and this craniosacral protocol over and over. No, please don't do that. Let's not have baby, full of lactic acid. Let's
We don't
practice
need
on
to
the baby
overtreat
doll.
our babies. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's so fun. That's actually good you said that. I think some
Yes.
people
So
would just
there,
do
I
it
think
over
I
and over.
answered that one.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, that
Mhm.
must be like what my student with her, that's probably what she's doing with her baby. I'm just like imagining her practicing on it.
She's practicing on the baby doll.
Yes,
Because if
on the
I
doll.
see her doing the other thing,
No.
I'll be raising my eyebrow and making fun of her.
Okay.
That's what I do.
I'll let her know to make sure she's just doing
Would you
it the right
please tell her I see her?
I'll tell her. That's so funny. Yeah, another one of my students, I think, went to your class last weekend or the weekend before. I saw her posting on it on Instagram, and I was like, she's coming on my podcast. We've got famous people coming on the podcast. So,
Oh, that's funny. Really? So she must have been in my class in South Dakota.
yes, she was. Her name's Shauna. Yeah.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a picture I have. I'm sitting on her lap. That's how much fun we have, but I especially loved her. She sat right up front. She's an
Oh,
OT, right? Is she an OT?
yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. I can't believe it. Shauna with a U.
Yes.
Okay, shout out Shauna. Love you, Shauna. We had so much fun.
I know. I do too. She's the best. That's so great. I'm so glad you recognize her name. That's so fun. I'll have to
Yeah.
tell her.
Her families are so lucky to have her, honestly.
Yeah. She's doing some wonderful work. Yeah.
She's so passionate about it and just love her so much.
That's awesome. That's so
I
good.
know.
Okay. Well, it's a small world. It's a big world, but it's a small world. And I'm
I
so
know.
happy to have made this connection with you. And who knows? We'll meet again in real life.
That'd be so fun, Heather.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time today and for coming on the show. And for everybody that is listening, we will have links to the Instagram in the show notes. And then you can follow Lori Hendrickson, CST, on Instagram for amazing baby videos and inspiration for what's possible for you to add to your practice. All right. We'll see you on another episode of The Fully Booked Therapist. Take care. Thanks for spending this time with me today. If you're a hands-on therapist who is ready to get fully booked and build a practice that actually pays you, I want to help you do that. Head over to heatherhummel.com to find out how we can work together. And if you loved this episode, please share it with someone who needs it. See you next week.